My name is Bilavarn, and I'm from Glencliff High School in Nashville, Tennessee. And I received the My Idea grant from AT&T, and my project is the outdoor classroom. Our vision is a school garden focused on enhancing educational opportunities and improving school and community health and well-being. The Glencliff Garden project has three main goals. First is building a sustainable school garden at Glencliff High School. Second is increasing access and consumption of fresh fruits and vegetables among students and staff members of Glencliff High School. Our final goal is to improve knowledge of nutrition, gardening, food systems, and sustainable agriculture. The outdoor classroom projects connects and supports each one of these three main goals, making our mission and vision more of reality. Just a year and a half ago, we started out with a small demonstration garden with herbs and tomatoes. A lot of interest was generated from the garden, and our school principal, Mr. May, just asked us to plant on a 100 by 100 foot lot where old tennis court used to be. This will be the site of our classroom. We've begun working on this lot as well as adding another raised bed adjacent to our first demonstration garden. I believe that the outdoor classrooms could help decrease dropout rates among students. One of the ways it will do this is by creating a fun and engaging learning environment where students can interact with each other as well as their environment. The outdoor class will create hands-on learning, which is different than what we receive in the classroom, and give students more opportunities like go outside and learn more from different point of views instead of just staying inside and learning from a regular textbook.
The classroom will add variety and a fresh approach to the regular school day.
Yeah, I think it's going to be an exciting space for classes to meet in. Personally, I'm really excited about and I've talked to our theater arts teacher about it. I think it's almost like I hadn't thought about this when it was sort of designed, but it's almost like an outdoor performance space.
Well, being a history teacher, we're more text-based in my classroom, and so the classroom that they've provided me with is very small because we really don't move around a whole lot. However, for bigger activities or classes where I need to mobilize for a lesson plan to get kids interested or involved, I need more space to spread out, and I need them to be able to engage in a very mobile way, and the outdoor classroom will allow me to integrate more diverse, complex lessons that involve more motion.
I feel this will help students concentrate more and intake more than what a teacher is saying. Finally, the outdoor classroom will support the community and other schools by hosting community workshops and field trips. It will give high school students the opportunity to interact with their community and as well as mentor the students interested in gardening.
I think the outdoor classroom will increase student engagement and make them really excited about learning. They'll be excited to go outside and have a change of pace from our normal regular classroom.
It integrates all sorts of different classrooms into like one massive project. So the engineering students got to help build and design the classroom, and the culinary arts group is using the food from the garden that sits where the classroom sits, and ecology is able to get involved. So it's an opportunity to really include lots of different types of students, lots of different areas of interest, and from here on out it's going to be a great site for both school field trips, outdoor classroom learning, and community workshops and events.
But they seem to be excited about it. It's certainly a nice class area. So again, I'm not an educator. I try to just do what educators tell me they want done, but I would imagine that so I've gotten people coming down here who helped us work, and by the way, the students and working with some of the teachers have been a great part of how we got this put together. They've really been terrific and done good work.
We've been lucky to be able to get a lot of students from across the school involved in building the outdoor classroom. We started off with having students from the garden club really meeting in groups and having discussions about what they wanted the classroom to look like. So they discussed what types of things would be interesting to students, what would keep them engaged, and they created a whole list of student needs. They also went then to to the teachers, and they passed out surveys where they collected information on what teachers would need the classroom to be used for. At that point, we involved the engineering students to help design and build the outdoor classroom, and we were able to use the science department, culinary arts, and leadership classes to help work on the outdoor classroom and all the garden projects that surround it.
We now have over 30 students actively participating in Garden Club. In addition, we hosted our first ever field trip for the garden. Over 90 elementary students in kindergarten and first grade from Glendale Elementary joined us for a 2-day field study. Through fun activities and reading sessions and a classroom project, these students were able to learn the ins and outs of gardening, from making their own dirt to vermicomposting to growing their very own vegetables. We received a lot of positive feedback from this field trip and hope to host several more during the upcoming school year. In just a few short months, we have made great progress with this project. To kickstart the project, we first held a student brainstorming session where students gave their input on what they would like to see in the outdoor classroom space.
It would be kind of awesome to have like a garden like that. Playground? Like, instead of like the playground, like have all this stuff, like the garden.
The brainstorming session went really well, and an idea for the outdoor classroom began to take shape. Not just student input, however, we wanted teacher and staff input as well. To accomplish this, we sent out a teacher survey. We received a lot of good information and incorporated it into all our overall design. After receiving student and staff input, 2 months were dedicated to working on the plans of the outdoor classroom. Great care was taken to make sure the outdoor classroom was aesthetically pleasing, met student and teacher needs, and met the needs of the greater community. Once we had an idea for the outdoor classroom space, we put an application for Nashville Tools with Schools, asking them for assistance with this project. Mr. John Pumperton helped shape our vision into reality by developing a design for the outdoor classroom. The design was practical at several different levels. First, to meet our goals of connecting students to nature through a positive environment. We accomplished this by taking into account the long, hot summer days here in Nashville and made sure the structure provided the shade for students. Second, we made the structure enhance the beauty of the garden rather than distract and block the view of the garden. Next, we connected the outdoor classroom space with the concepts related to sustainable living by utilizing gutters to capture rain, which can then be stored and utilized to water the garden. We are also utilizing non-classroom space within the structure to grow flowers, herbs, fruits, and vegetables. Lastly, the structure met the current themes of the school. From the collection of paint to the structure itself, many of the designs mimicked several of the structures and buildings on school grounds.
I had started to do a similar project at another school, and they didn't have the money because nobody like you wrote a great grant request. So I suggested the tiered seating which we've got here, and we worked with the dimensions that will allow access to the garden and the budget, and this is what we came up with. But I think it'll be it'll have multiple uses. I think you'll be able to have different groups out here, probably more than just the folks that are originally going to use it. So I'm hoping it's a great value to the school and to the program. Several people have mentioned plays and dramatic performances, and again, I'm not an educator.
Mr. Carpenter was able to connect us to engineers who helped us draft a design, which was submitted and approved by Metro Nashville Public Schools and Metro Nashville Government. Students from the engineering department of the high school helped us through building this project. Mr. Knisley's students worked hard with Mr. Carpenter's assistance to build the deck, the building, and the seating area. This process was a huge learning experience for these students because they were able to put in classroom concepts into a real-world application. Students were also able to network with local engineers, carpenters, and other local agencies through the process, which will help them long after school.
The outdoor classroom project's been really interesting because it started off as a much smaller idea than what it grew into. But because of all the community partnerships and the support and all the ideas that were brainstormed, it grew into something really large. While that was fantastic, we did hit some road bumps because this became an actual classroom facility that needed to have a building permit, and we needed to think about engineers and getting the fire marshal's approval and things that we did not anticipate. We were really lucky to have a lot of support from the Metro School System and from Nashville Tools for Schools, which is a nonprofit who had a lot of expertise in that area.
Here is a deck being laid. Students from Glencliff helped lay the deck. As you can see, they're putting up the walls of the shed. Next in the process was the roof. We wanted a roof structure to provide shade in a place where we could add fans one day to keep the students from the heat of the summer. The tiered system will allow the outdoor classroom to comfortably seat up to 60 people and will allow everyone to have a great view of the garden and the instructor. As you can see, the outdoor classroom is a great complement to the beautiful garden at Glencliff High School. With just $20,000, we were able to put a structure that will accommodate graduating classes for several decades to come. A private engineering firm recently estimated the value of the outdoor classroom to be worth approximately $84,000. Without the help of Nashville Tools for School, the Monroe Carroll Junior Children's Hospital at Vanderbilt, the students and staff of Glencliff High School, and the tireless volunteers who put in a lot of hard work, and the funding from AT&T My Idea grants, this project would not be possible.